You're listening to the Loving Your Own Soul podcast, and I'm your host, Britt. Guided by my own intuition, my intention is to deliver genuine conversations centered around health and wellness, spirituality, self-expression, and culture. In this space, I will provide you with real-life stories, theories, and inspiring perspectives to help you uncover and tap into your own true potential. I'm so grateful you've chosen to tune in with me on this mindful exploration to living a more fluid life through a deeper connection to the soul. Now let's dive into today's journey. Welcome to the Loving Your Own Soul Weekly Digest. If you're new around here, I'm Britt, and I'm so grateful to have you here. Every Thursday, I will digest and decode a different health and wellness, spiritual, trending, or cultural topic so that you can better understand and feel more on trend in the ever-changing world we live in. This week, I will be giving you the download on ways to keep your immune system in tip-top condition. After all, I firmly believe that immune boosters are life boosters. And before you scoff at this or think, nope, not for me, I'm going to tell you right now that you are going to want to listen to this episode, as the information provided here could honestly change your year and next few years for the better. We'd all like to get back to the quote-unquote normal life, right? Well, these tips will probably provide you to the closest road back to normalcy. But as I would encourage you to do, just kind of maybe think about what is normal after all? Does normal even exist? Food for thought. As always, please do not forget that I am not a trained medical professional, and while I am certified through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, I do not claim to be an expert in any of these areas. Our weekly digest episodes simply stem from theories, research from qualified field professionals, and my own findings and opinions on the areas we discuss. For any specific questions or topics you'd like to see on here, do feel free to connect with me on Instagram or shoot me a DM at Loving Your Own Soul. And please, as always, do remember to always do your own research in this beautiful world that we live in. And always follow or listen to that inner voice, because we all have that inner voice trying to steer us in better directions. But let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so let's talk immunity and ways to actually keep yourself healthy and your immune system in top condition. I love this topic. And first of all, as we are referring to our immune systems, please note that I'm also referring to the levels of inflammation in your body. For inflammation is truly the root cause of all disease, death from illness, chronic illness, immune issues, cancers, and so forth. So while I'm talking about immunity, please know that a well-conditioned immune system stems from reducing the levels of unwanted inflammation in the body. And I'm not talking about the low-level inflammation you may receive from an injury. That's normal. I'm talking about the high levels of inflammation that most of our bodies are flooded with due to our less than adequate lifestyles and environments. To that point, I'm not here to spread hate or to try to tell you to do something. I'm simply providing light and clarity in just some different areas of interest that you may want to consider. So please follow your heart, follow the recommended guidelines and procedures, and always look at what decisions are best for you. But then, as always, the greater good for all. We oftentimes, kind of have a tendency to maybe fall short and lose sight of our decisions or choices that in return are also impacting the world around us. And we are in wild times right now. Our elders have survived wild times like this before, and we will also survive wild times like this again. However, what is not being talked about as much as I personally believe that it should be are the ways that we can support our bodies and internal systems during these uncertain times. But also forever moving forward so that we can get back to living states of utopia like we once did on this planet Earth. There is proof, there is fact, and if anything, there is proven history as to what keeps us healthy and clear of disease. Just like you would train, say, before going out to run a marathon, study for a test, prepare for an interview, learn a new dance. Preparation is key, and taking a proactive approach in all areas so that you can handle what's in front of you. It's the same thing here, whether it be flu season or a dangerous virus running rampant throughout the world. Take care of and nurture your body so that he or she is in the best shape possible to fight off or ward off anything that might harm you. These practices that I'm here to talk about will not keep you from getting a virus or potentially attracting a disease or anything already wreaking havoc on your body, but they may help you and your body fight it off. I know because I've witnessed it firsthand, and I've witnessed it for countless other cases as well, and continue to do so on a weekly basis. And it is truly amazing and literally and figuratively life-changing. There are few things that you are actually in control of. However, you can also set yourself up for success during these uncertain times, now or in the future. So while there is a lot that we can't control, there is one thing that you are in control of right now, and that is how you are taking care of yourself and the decisions that you are making. Even in looking at myself, as I'm talking, I'm sitting here questioning, why didn't I do this episode sooner? Kind of funny, honestly, but who knows? I really don't know why I never thought to bring this up now, a year and a half after the initial breakout of COVID-19. Not a year and a half, sorry, maybe 11 months after, but anyway, that's okay. Regardless, time truly does not exist, and I do believe that everything happens when it should, and maybe this information will be better able to be digested right now. So let's jump into my favorite 7 factors to look at when it comes to health or immunity. Those are nutrition, sleep, stress, movement, sunshine or getting outside, herbs and supplements, and hydration. Now, of these 7, this does not mean that you shouldn't follow current guidelines or health practices. By all means, please do. Standard public health practices, can include washing your hands or wearing a mask in public in order to limit the spread of certain viruses. And these practices, they do not help to improve your immune system, but they will help to decrease exposure to infection, which is still very much important. Okay, so these practices, hand washing, wearing a mask in public to limit the reduce of the spread, etc., using hand sanitizer, wiping things down. Again, these practices will help decrease the exposure to the infection, but they do not actually do anything for your immune system. So what we want to do on top of these practices, which are still great to follow, we want to support our immune systems, because it is so important to fuel your body correctly in order to create the highest level of personal immunological resiliency and decreased inflammation. Okay, so your immune system is dependent on these 7 key ingredients: the optimal nutrition, the movement, sleep, sunshine, stress reduction, hydration, herbal support. All of these factors are so important for the body to function at its best. So, while addressing one of these areas, yes, is always beneficial, certainly if you're going to do anything, at least go for one. However, concentrating on all of them simultaneously can really just kind of synergistically or synchronistically just benefit your immune system, lower inflammation, and improve any underlying conditions. I talk about life and balance, and that is because when you are in harmony with all of the ingredients of your life, you improve the baseline of your health. So let's jump into the 7 key factors or ingredients, as I like to call them. First off, we have nutrition, a topic I love so dearly. And as I start out, I do want to read something that I read lately that I feel like just spells out the underlying process of nutrition so profoundly. So, research actually shows that nutrition can help to upregulate your innate and adaptive immune function, supporting your body's ability to fight off pathogens. Nutrition does play a large role in decreasing low-grade chronic inflammation, and because of bio-individuality, there is not one ultimate plan for everyone because every person's needs are unique. That said, as we continue to navigate a global pandemic, flu season, colder weather, etc., everyone can benefit from focusing on creating a foundation to support a healthy immune system and thus lower inflammation. So, as it pertains to nutrition, number one thing, there is no one size fits all approach. And I cannot emphasize that enough. Your nutritional needs are dependent upon your genetics, age, microbiome, even your human design type, and so forth. There's so much that goes into your unique nutritional needs. However, certain components of a nutritious diet, like phytonutrients, macro and micronutrients, all have immunoregulating properties that actually have the ability to decrease inflammation for everyone. One of my very first weekly digest episodes back, I spoke about what happens to the body when we stop eating so much animal protein. And that is that, number one, inflammation levels drastically decrease. And number two, our gene expressions actually change for the better. So a couple nutritional tips for you that I personally am following. Definitely, again, if something sparks your interest, write it down, try it out, listen for those internal cues. But first thing is lemon water. First thing in the morning, as soon as I wake up, hot or cold, depends on the person. I use half a lemon squeezed in about 12 ounces of water. And then number two is I limit, if not drastically reduce, my daily intake of dairy, gluten, canola oil, sugar, except for raw honey and fruit. Natural fruit sugar is great. Eggs, corn, animal proteins, especially pork, natural flavorings, added salts, caffeine, and alcohol. Oh, and then preservatives, processed chemicals, gums, anything fake is a huge no-no. And then to that point, I really focus on eating as much fruit as my body craves. I never limit my intake of fruit, all the vegetables, healthy fats like avocado and coconut, and then seeds, whole grains, nuts, etc. Really, whole foods is key. Limit processed foods. Cannot say that enough. If something is labeled as healthy and it comes in a package, it's processed. So whole foods are best. And there are honestly so many fun ways to eat these foods. Which, you know what, if you feel called to leave me a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, please do. I would be so grateful. But in exchange, be sure to take a screenshot of your rating and review as proof, DM it to me on Instagram at Loving Your Own Soul, and in exchange, I will send you my plant-based recipe ebook, not only because I love you all, but I really want what's best for you. So as I'm talking about nutrition, I would love anyone who's interested in my plant-based recipe ebook. Again, always eat what's right for you, but there are a lot of fun recipes to try out as we look at eating whole foods. It can be fun. So leave a rating and review. I would love to send you that plant-based recipe ebook in exchange. But one of my next favorite ingredients is sleep. So sleep. First of all, we all need different amounts of sleep. We sleep better at different times than one another. And again, we are our own unique individuals. But the one thing that is consistent is that our bodies heal themselves when we are sleeping, and sleep can repair disease when done in tangent with these other 7 ingredients, or 6 ingredients, because sleep is one of them, totaling to 7. So research actually shows that when you sleep, you repair your cells, promote the formation of your immune memory, and decrease production in the body. Insufficient sleep is associated with an increased risk of obesity and diabetes and cravings, poor decisions, and unbalanced microbiome, digestive distress, and anxiety. Lack of sleep also increases the hunger hormone, which may lead you to make more impulsive food choices, which are most likely to be the ones that are more convenient and not so nutritious. When your body's tired, it naturally seeks comfort. However, we've conditioned ourselves to think that comfort comes in the forms of food, and those food that we choose are actually causing way more stress to the body, thus making us really just very susceptible. So rest and recovery, sleep, so important. And a couple ways to get good sleep. Sleepy time teas and herbs. Number 1, try to be in bed by about 9:30 p.m. and try to be asleep by 10 p.m., especially if you are one to usually get that second wind, night owl type person. Most second winds actually come after 10 p.m., so if you can be asleep by 10 p.m., you should be in good shape. Laying your eyes on the sunrise and sunset, or at least the changing colors of the sky, will actually help your body to reset the circadian rhythm, which thus results in more restful night sleeps. And when we are less stressed, we sleep better. So that brings us to the stress reducing stress and completing the stress cycle, as I like to call it. Stress is a word we hear all the time, and stress can come in a lot of different forms. So stress can look like filling your calendar, too much screen time, yes, being chased by an animal, being under pressure, being in fear, but also stress can look like burying our emotions and lacking boundaries and worrying about things outside of your control, which stress, it really just leads to, it just kind of initiates like a cascade of events in our society where our body is just constantly in this fight or flight response because we live in stressful states like 98% of the time. It's really sad. What happens though when our body is constantly in this fight or flight response, it activates the sympathetic nervous system. And within that, too much stress can actually alter the stress hormones, leaving them often elevated when they really need to taper down. So with those elevations of stress, that actually manifests as a wide array of health conditions in the body, which again, you're gonna hear me say it, inflammation and an impaired immune response. So what you want to do, obviously we can't always eliminate stress, but we can begin to focus on completing the stress cycle, which means being a little bit more resilient to the stress you're experiencing by completing the cycle and adding in some stress reducing activities and practices that will in effect also bring you joy, which this might look like limiting your screen time in the evenings. I would recommend not watching the news in the evening where possible. You maybe find other ways to just get your information. You can complete the stress cycle or find ways to balance a stressful event instead of just moving right through it. Breathe and connect to your breath. See where you can add more joy to your life. And even think about it right now. Like, when is the last time you laughed or played or didn't have a million things running through your mind? And get out in nature. Oh my gosh, nature helps so much, I promise. And we're actually going to talk about nature, but first I want to talk about movement. So our bodies were designed to move. Moderate exercise and movement at least 4 to 5 days a week has really been shown to support the immune system, lower inflammation, and promote longevity and overall happiness. Movement throughout the day is critical. Honestly, it's just, so critical. So movement throughout the week, but then also consistent movement throughout the day, as research actually shows that consistent exercise can help to improve immunity and your immune system against pathogens, systemic inflammation, and so forth. So commit to moving every day. It will serve you, promise. Ways to move can include walking, yoga, stretching, intense or light cardio, running, hiking, bike riding, dancing, a couple extra squats or lunges while brushing your teeth or cooking dinner, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. All great ways to get your body moving. And when you move, you are happier, which in effect reduces the amount of stress in your life, often leading to better sleep, which then makes it easier to make better food decisions, which leads to a healthy body, happy immune system, and more fun ways of living your life. See how it's all connected? Okay, so getting outside, sunshine, and the power of nature. Let's think about something for a second here. Have you ever wondered why, when you go on vacation, I've been thinking about this a lot, and when you sit in the sun all day, you just get these rejuvenated feelings of just happiness and all the things? Or same, what about when you're out on a long walk on nature or even just doing yard work? It's weirdly energizing, yet calming and nourishing and all the things. Even when you finish, you're like rejuvenated, but also tired and ready to then go to sleep. It just really gives you this whole combination of everything. So the sun is your friend, and the sun carries an insane amount of healing properties for our bodies, organs, and immune system. Think about this, the sun paired with other elements actually grows our food for us, and just like our foods or plants thrives off of varying amounts of sunlight, our bodies do too. We are natural beings at our core. So I know we all love research to back up some of this, and according to research, being in nature does have health benefits as it really lowers our blood pressure, decreases production of stress hormones, slows our heart rate, reduces feelings of fear and anxiety and depression, and helps us focus. It improves our mood. It helps us cope with physical pain or mental pain. And like I said, it just leaves us feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say being outside did not feel good. And when we're outside, we often get exposure to the sunlight, which has its own benefits. It produces serotonin, which obviously boosts your mood, but then also produces vitamin D, which is essential for good health and supporting your immune system. What else? So sunlight, it gives us natural forms of vitamin D, but then it actually triggers the production of vitamin D in our bodies, which helps us to absorb nutrients like calcium and iron, signaling to certain immune cells that it's time to get to work and fight off infection. And, even just going outside, spending 5 to 10 minutes without sunscreen, because actually getting sunlight on your skin is what triggers that vitamin D production. Obviously the sun is, stronger in the afternoon. So maybe you want to go get that sunlight in the early morning or late afternoon. Definitely do that. And, like I said, that early morning, late afternoon, evening sunlight, just a couple minutes a day. That's all you need. So if we're talking about early morning, go stand barefoot in your backyard for 10 minutes in the morning, drinking your cup of coffee. Take a break at lunch and feel the sun on your face for a minute. Go for a walk in the evening. All these little things make such a big difference. So allow your body to drink up the natural forms of nature and fresh air and sunshine that are equally as important to all those nutritious foods that I mentioned earlier. Which brings us to herbs and supplements, which is such a fun factor. I love this one as well. But if you are maybe not as familiar, so using food, obviously, as the core of your nutrient consumption is key. However, some of us may also benefit from getting higher doses of certain nutrients in high quality supplements. But again, high quality is very key here. There are a lot of supplements out there on the market to just with different intentions. So if you have a question about supplements, again, reach out to me. Would love to chat with you. But equally, consult your doctor or healthcare provider before starting any supplements. I cannot recommend this enough. And always work with your doctor or a registered dietitian to really determine what's best for you. We're all unique, so just remember that. So whether you elect to take in more herbs, you can do so through adding into your daily meals or in the forms of supplement capsules and powders or teas. Do what makes sense for you. Again, this is, do your research, but do know that herbs are jam-packed with nutrients that our bodies need and are often depleted of, which is sad. So some of my favorite herbs, as we're talking about lowering inflammation and increasing our immune systems, include cilantro, parsley, basil, oregano, sage, lemon balm, dandelion root, echinacea, olive leaf extract, spirulina, barley grass powder, adaptogenic mushrooms. When I say mushrooms, I'm talking about lion's mane and reishi and chaga, ashwagandha, rhodiola, mint, rosemary, fennel is a powerhouse, raspberry leaf, nettle leaf, basil, turmeric, and also, so I just said basil. So don't think that eating a piece of pizza with basil and a little oregano sprinkled on top is going to do the trick. Okay. The amount of cheese and oil and sugar and processed flours and who knows what else on that pizza are going to completely nix out any benefits that you'd get from just a little tiny sprinkling of those herbs. You need a lot of them. Those high doses are what you'll need to start removing all those harmful ingredients first. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't love pizza. I do. Trust me, there is just a balance to everything. And speaking of balance, last but not least, proper hydration. So first off, yes, hydrating. It's honestly as simple as it sounds. Number one, just like sunlight for the plants, we are natural beings and water hydrates us and keeps us alive and keeps us growing and sustaining. So it's that simple. Water really assists our body and organs in flushing out what we don't need. I consider water to be a life force energy that is really like a sacred component to what you are filling your body with on a daily basis. It does wonders for your body, especially when it works as an immune system booster. So thanks to water's miraculous properties, you can actually take advantage of this extremely versatile and natural immune system booster in order to help improve your health and well-being. So if anyone is not familiar, I know we're always told like, oh, drink more water, but sometimes that dialogue is a little frustrating if we're not familiar with all that's involved. So water actually helps to carry oxygen to your body cells, which results in properly functioning systems. It also works in removing toxins from the body, so drinking more of it could help prevent toxins from building up and having a negative impact on your immune system. We can also take a glass of cold water to the next level. I think I mentioned this earlier by adding some lemon. I mean, the health benefits behind lemon water are massive. I think I'll actually do an episode just on lemons at some point. But just to keep it short here, lemons are a great source of vitamin C, which is known to boost the immune system, prevent disease, fight the common cold, and protect your cells. Water with lemon juice squeezed in it is just one of my favorite little tricks, and it also helps aid in digestion and detoxification, again, pushing out anything that does not serve us. Tea is another great one as well. I mentioned some different herbs and things like that. Teas provide a lot of antioxidants to the body with that warm water, which can really push out those harmful free radicals and protect against cancers. And so water, mentioned earlier some of the standard health procedures, but water can prevent sickness because it washes away germs. Just like with washing your hands, wiping surfaces, cleaning dishes, and things like that, water really rinses out our insides from the inside out. Even, those with allergies, rinsing out the nasal passages is a common thing, and really just to cleanse away all those negative particles in your system and germs. Yeah, water. So hydration is key. I think we all get that. But all in all, do what makes sense for your body and your health and overall safety and well-being. And please know that it is so important to follow those general health and safety standards. But with those, you also really want to be ensuring that you are keeping your body in optimal condition, like a well-balanced ecosystem, so that your body is well equipped to handle whatever life throws at it. Again, these practices are not going to keep you from actually getting any disease or illness or flu, but they really will help your body in fighting it off to the best of its ability. So use them as you please. But again, my favorite 7 factors to look at when it comes to your health, immunity, and lowering inflammation are nutrition, sleep, stress reduction, movement, sunshine or getting outside, herbs and supplements, and hydration. I think I said this earlier, but I truly am a firm believer that boosting your immune system is the same thing as boosting your life. Thank you so much for tuning in here with me today for our weekly digest, and I look forward to continuing the journey with you again soon.